Hello and welcome back to Floor Planner. My name is Bob, and as I always say, I am here for customer success. I am here for you all, and I want to share with you some new information. Today, this short little video clip, we're going to go ahead and talk about the new featured tools that became available on our platform as of last month, which would be October 2021. Typically, we've had about 5 updates almost every month so far for this new year. But last month's a little leaner. We're down to, there's about 2 updates that we're going to talk about. And I'll try to elaborate on one of them a little bit. Let me go ahead and show you where you find those updates currently. Right now on your screen, you'll see in the upper right-hand corner when you're actually in your profile tab, the right-hand sidebar comes up and the new featured tools are noted right here in the upper right-hand corner of that tab. If you hit the More button, you'll actually go to a page of all of the featured updates that have been added to the platform. And you can go back in time, maybe review some items that maybe you might have missed during the year. I would definitely take a peek in there if you haven't explored that as yet. We left off with our last webinar. And our recording of the new paint collections that came out with the vendors being noted for your paints, and also the filters by wallpaper vendors and by collections. So actually, here's where we start with the 2 new ones for October that we were talking about. One, we're becoming more and more worldwide. And so let's just say that now we have a translation of Floor Planner into Japanese. Let me give this a try, as I always try to at least say hello to the new team and the members that are joining us. So let's just say konnichiwa. And now we have Floor Planner in Japanese available. Now beyond there, we're going to be talking about the wizard improvements for room styles. I'm going to take a little time to chat about this a little bit longer. I'll feature, and show you what has modified for the wizard for room style, and where to find that and how it is really enhanced the previewing of that before even opening up your room. And there's actually, as you can see on your screen, the programmers are highlighting with you that you can now see a preview of the selected room style and a perspective view on the left-hand side with the cutaway walls engaged, and also on the right-hand side you would see the actual floor plan of that room style. So you get these really great new previews before you even get engaged and go into the room. You know where you're going with it. And then I'll talk just a little bit more about maybe some of the details of room style for those of you that aren't completely familiar with how room style functions. There is something unique. We can all work with room styles, yet Pro subscription levels with Floor Planner Pro up through Enterprise have the ability to create custom room styles individually for themselves as their users, and also corporately for the larger accounts of business and enterprise accounts. The administration of those accounts can actually create room styles that can be shared globally with their multitude of users in their Floor Planner accounts. So let's take a moment and go ahead and go into my Floor Planner account for a second to use as an example. And here I have an empty room that's created. A few little notes about room styles just to make sure you're comfortable about them. Room styles actually do require the fact that you need to know what type of room you're assigning that room style to. So left clicking on your room, of course, with anything you left click in Floor Planner, you'll get the left-hand sidebar. And with that left-hand sidebar, you can see that the room type of this space that we created has not been defined as yet. So it's always cool to start with that. It's a little bit more than a label. There's actually some information that's being contained with it. So go to the room type and discern as to what building type you're working with. So it could be a hospitality project, a house, like a residential home, office, outdoor party, events, and or school. So I'm going to go down to house. We're building a residential house at this point. And you can assign a room type to the space that you created. Right now it defaulted to the living room. You can also make it a dining room, a kitchen, kids room, nursery, and do note that there is a default set within Floor Planner of color coding associated with each room type that you assign, which is also nice for the color blocking when you actually show a floor plan and want to show your different areas in a color block diagram. So we've assigned the fact that this is a living room. So it's not only just a title in there, but the room actually knows that it's a living room. Once that's been assigned to that room and you select the room again, you'll notice on the left-hand side, you get a new tab that says now room style. So it's kind of the progression of how you work. You need to make sure your empty space is identified as a room type, and then you can assign a room style to it. Room styles are collections of decor in the sense of based on a room type, be it a living room, dining room, bedroom, kitchen, etc. You're going to build a collection for a specific room style. It could be a floor material, a wall material, and then the individual selections of those furnishings that are unique to that design. Specific sofa, specific chair, rug, cocktail table, items in there as accessories, lighting, plants, artwork, however you want to go ahead and compose this entire look for that specific room style. Remember, you can create as a pro account or higher, you can create multiple room styles. So make one unique for one specific room type. And the beauty with that collection that you've created, you can deposit into any empty structure that you've created, identified as the same room type, of course, and it will populate the room for you instantaneously. You can certainly then work your designer magic with it and do the tweaking and the exact space planning of that area with the components that have been deposited in that room. And you can even delete certain items and or add from other collections. It's just a starting point to work from, but it really speeds things up for you design-wise. But those two issues I wanted to certainly address with you and make sure that you're comfortable with the fact that you do need to have a room type assigned to that room. So if we were to go ahead and work with a room style that may be existing, possibly in the floor planner's existing library, or you've created them if you're a pro account or higher, you're going to go ahead and go over here to the room styles and go ahead and select which room style you want to assign to that space of the ones that are available to you. And when you go ahead and just pick yourself a collection, possibly maybe this Audrey collection. These are the pieces now that were assigned, created for you. And you can drag and drop them into the space as you typically would, but they're now categorized and available to you. But you can also go ahead and have them so that they're assigned to that space. So if you click on that room, you'll see that the Audrey has been assigned as its room style. It is still a living room space. And you can go to the magic layout. Based on mathematical algorithms of how the space can be laid out. Again, not displacing an interior designer by any means, but if you hit magic layout, and you could have an opportunity to change out that room style one more time, but magic layout, run it out into the cloud, and it will actually deposit those furnishings in that room. Now we can, in the upper right-hand corner, go ahead and change this out. So we show it in the materials, and you have your materials assigned based on that entire collection into that room space. So totally cool. That's how room styles function. Now let me show you how those previews came out, which is the new feature. So let me go ahead and back out of this for a second. I think we'll just go ahead and clear out this project completely, and we'll start from scratch on it. So the way the previews would work for you is through the room wizard. So when you start a new project, you say, oh, let's go to the room wizard and pick a shape of a room that we'd like to work with. Maybe we're going to state that that's fine. Let's go forward. Then we can talk about the dimensions of that room. We could change out the dimensions in here because this is typical room wizard to go ahead and make modifications. Maybe I'll make this a 25-foot wide room, and maybe make its depth in there more like 20 feet, make a nice big room for us. and hit next. And you can see this is that same sort of idea. What is the room type? This is through the wizard that you can actually assign the room type. Same method that I showed you before with a little different technique. So yeah, it's a living room. Living room's assigned to that space, and based on my library of room styles that are in my database, I have items that I can select from. I could start with an empty room, which is how it's showcasing currently on the left-hand side as your perspective image, an axonometric with the cutaway walls turned off. Turned on, excuse me, cutaway walls turned on, so the walls are not showing, and then your floor plan on the other side. But these are the other room styles that are in my database. So if I select that same Audrey that we just talked about, you'll notice that here's the feature that comes out now as a new new feature tool, is that as you select from your room styles, you'll get the nice preview on the left-hand side and an axonometric of that room perspective without having the walls showcasing, because cutaway walls are turned on. And on the right-hand side, you can actually see the floor plan. So this is the new features that you can see all this ahead of time before you actually even start on the project. So maybe you want to select, another area instead, and the different room style that would be applied to that space. And then again, you're going to have the luxury of seeing its perspective view and also its plan view. And if this is the one that you want to go ahead and select for that room as a room style to be applied, just go ahead and start. And it's assigned to the room. Now, again, the beautiful thing with room styles and magic layout, again, algorithmic mathematical equation as to how they're being placed, always waiting for your design finesse as to place these items accordingly. You do have the ability in there to go ahead and make modifications to that space. If you go ahead and save your file for a second. I believe we are looking good. So if there is anything else you wanted to say, you could actually select on this room, and you could go over to Magic Layout again, and you can see again that it is still assigned as a room type as a living room, room style as we selected. And if you hit Magic Layout again, we can open up Magic Layout and see that, yep, there's the room style that we had already assigned to that space, where we could change it again. Yet, if we went to Magic Layout, you'll notice that it'll go out into the cloud and it will give you another algorithmic layout opportunity for the space. But again, you do have the same freedom in here to go ahead and start moving these pieces accordingly based on your design. Now, outside of that, selecting a room again, in Magic Layout, there's also a Restyle button inside there. I know I'm going a little beyond, but I thought I'd take some time to enjoy this and share this with you. The layout that you see, if you like this configuration, another feature that was out there that came out previously was that you can change it to a different collection. Still a living room style, living room type, and also change your style out. So if I went ahead and selected something like the Audrey collection to go with this room, but I like the layout, I can restyle that room with the Restyle tab on the left-hand side, and it will try to take the Audrey collection based on the layout that you just saw from the previous room style and place it into that configuration. So you have a lot of power with room style, especially with all these new features for viewing and previewing in advance. And do remember that, for customization of creating your own room styles, you're looking at that being a tool available to Pro account subscription levels all the way up through enterprise. So hope you can all enjoy this, and no matter what level of subscription, all 6 subscription levels can certainly go in here and start learning about room styles. Pro accounts, keep going forward and start building some of your own. And hope you have a lot of fun and enjoy. And I will see you next month to talk about the previous month's recaps yet again. Have a great day. Thank you.